What is up, guys? Spike Chicken here, and welcome to a new video. So this video is actually a request from Skull Warrior. They asked me to do a video of a story, so this is kind of like a story time video, or whatever you want to call it, um, and it is on my story of these two characters here, Flight Control Buzz Lightyear, and Talking to Woody. Uh, so big shout out to Skull Warrior. Yeah, big shout out for Skull Warrior to tell me the original name of this Woody, and it is right here. This is twice the Talking Sheriff Woody. The big difference in this Woody and that Woody is the vest is different. The boots, I remember growing up that the actual boots on that one did have spurs like these, but they were painted. That's a big difference. And of course, he did have the similar badge originally. The one that's on it is broken, and we put a pin badge on there of a silver badge to represent his sheriff. And he didn't have his gun holster anymore. Like, the gun holster was ripped off. I don't know what happened to it. The person that probably owned it previously probably lost it. So, to get that out of the way. And it did at one time have like this little loop here, but it did not have the actual pull string when I got it on that Woody. And of course, he didn't have a hat. The person did not have a hat. So, just to give you straight up, big comparison. I don't know if I did a video comparison on these two Woody, but I would love to get a working one because sadly, this one does not work anymore. And sadly, this one has gone silent as well recently. I just found out. I'm not sure what is going on with this buzz, but I will leave a description. When I edit this video, I will leave a description to the original video I did a review on this buzz before he stopped, when he still was working in condition. But anyway, let's get on to the story. So, I was about 9 years old when these were my first two. I did have a Woody action figure. It was a little one. I think it was from McDonald's. It had a little switch on the back, and you could position his arm, and his arm would be like this, and you could just flip it, and he would flip his hand down, like he was going to do the draw thing. So yeah, that was the big difference about it. My very first Woody, and of course, my very first Buzz I ever had was a spaceship, I believe. I did a video on it, or not really a video, but I did mention it when I did this Buzz Lightyear, I think it was, that I mentioned a video that something about one of my Toy Story videos. I mentioned when I was 5 years old, I had a Buzz Lightyear talking ship. Sadly, I don't have that. I do have part of it, which is a tiny little wing to it, but I don't know what happened to the rest of it. It's somewhere still in Texas, hopefully. I don't know if it is or not, because, like, we moved too much, so who knows. But anyway, I was 9 years old, and I lived in Texas, and this is when I was going to school during that time, and I remember coming home from school, because I think I was like in third, or can't remember, because can't remember what grade I was in, actually, because it was a long time ago. I don't remember what year that was, actually. But I just remember I was 9 years old. I don't exactly remember the year, because, like, years went by when I was younger. But I just remember going to school, coming home, and we seen a garage sale. Me and my sister did, and I asked her if we could go there, and she said, maybe in a little bit. And so we went home. My mom said she had a surprise for me. She told me to go put up my homework or whatever my school stuff. So I went in my room, put up my school stuff, and I came back, and she said, "Alright, your surprise is waiting for you in my bedroom on the dresser." So I walked into, because, like, before we get into more of the story, I just want to point out, my entire life, I've always wanted a Woody and Buzz. Ever since I was 5, when I first seen it. I was born when the first movie came out. I was just too little to see it. I just remember seeing it around 5 years old. 5 or 4 years old, I remember seeing the first movie, and ever since that, I've always wanted a Woody and Buzz. I always asked every Christmas to my parents, always arrived that I wanted a Woody and Buzz. And, of course, sadly, I never got it. But anyway, during that time when I was 9, I was walking to my parents' room. I looked right up on the dresser. As soon as I came in, I just was the happiest person ever, because these two were just standing there. I don't remember which side Woody was on, but I just remember seeing Woody was there next to Buzz. I don't think he had. We didn't. I don't know if we might have had a stand for him back then. I don't remember if he was standing or not. He might have been just sitting next to Buzz, like, sitting down. But I just grabbed them both, and I was just so happy. Like, and of course, back then, he did have his actual original star, and he did have his spurs back then. We're going to get into the story of what happened to all that as well in this video. So I was, like, so happy. His paint was probably a lot better back then, too, and, like, he was a little bit nicer, but the reason why he's like this now is the story. But anyway, Buzz was completely white back then. I will say that. If you look at the back of him, this was his color when I first got him. Was about this color right here. Was like all this was white in the front back then, and he worked perfectly. He had a light right here that would light up. He was like the coolest Buzz that I ever had, and I liked it. And I didn't know what he was called, so I just thought he was just a Buzz Lightyear. So yeah, I didn't know really much knew what Buzz he was, because he just looked like the coolest Buzz to me. So I was happy. He did have wing issues back then when I first got him. We did try to repaint him right here on his wing. As you see, it's a lot of paint loss is lost on this Buzz. He's had a lot of memories. He was the only Buzz that I had that actually worked. Woody didn't have, we couldn't afford the batteries for Woody because it was those circle kind of batteries, like watch batteries. So we couldn't afford those kind of batteries. So we didn't know how he worked. So we just thought he was like a doll. We just thought he worked by pushing his badge button, because there was a button under it one time. But yeah, I remember so many memories I used to have with these. Like, I used to take it to my next door neighbor. They had a trampoline, so we always put Woody and Buzz on the trampoline and would jump with them and stuff. And that's probably why Buzz has a lot of damage to his paint, was because he would fall off of it. And of course, Woody was like, he was just couldn't really do much, so I just played with him. His badge started to crack, and I got a little upset about it. It started breaking off. It was like so bad that it like broke. I don't know what happened to his original badge part, but I used to have it, but I don't know if it's still in here or if it's somewhere else, but we have it somewhere, and we only had like the string part and a triangle piece that was part of it, and we had one time glued the other thing, but we didn't know what happened to the rest of the badge because I think it got lost when we moved. But I had it for a while, and eventually it broke off. As you can see, this is what's left of his badge on the bottom, where his hole, where the button used to be. We tried to fix him. We thought his battery was broken. I'm going to take him off the stand. I'm using Collection Woody stand to stand him up. But yeah, we literally took him apart. That's his voice box, what's left of it. The original voice box still has that little string thing. We have his little thing that was supposed to protect the battery cover. It is completely missing a lot of stuff. The switch, when we got it, was broken, so we couldn't get it to turn on at all, which was kind of sad. I don't think twice to talk about anything, but yeah. And then, of course, there's the insides of what's left of his voice box. We tried replacing the speakers because we thought, we put batteries in them. Because the reason why we thought he was broken was because after because one of our neighbors back then, where I used to live at during that time, I think they were jealous that I had a Woody doll, and so they threw him up in a tree, and I had to have my friend's father get him down for me. But yeah, we didn't know a lot about this Woody during that time. We just thought he talked right here. We didn't know you had to push the belt buckle at all. We didn't know that. If we knew that, I would have pushed it that day. But I only did this up here because we thought it was up here. We didn't think about down here during that time. But yeah, he was the coolest Woody. I thought he was very accurate. After his badge broke, we found this random metal badge and we pinned it to his vest so it looked like he had a sheriff star. We tried to paint back his uh, buttons. Of course, they came off and stuff. Like it's supposed to have like a silver around it uh, as well, and you can kind of still see the paint on his belt buckle. But that was the paint that used to be on his boots, because if you look, there's some paint that we tried to repaint back on it, and yeah, and it still has the Andy written on it, and of course it's got my name written on it right there after all those years. Um, but yeah, I still like this Woody through a lot. Um, he's had a lot of memories I've done so much with this Woody. I've took him almost everywhere. I've never got rid of him. He's very special. He's like my prized possession of my memory, my early childhood memories that I can remember of having was around 9, like I said. I mostly told you the story of how I got him. And like I said, he was the coolest Woody to me. And I liked him a lot. It was like nothing I have ever seen ever. And like I said, he's pretty cool looking Woody to this day. And I would have loved to hear his voice. Um, but like I said, that's the story of these two tales of these two Buzz and Woody that I've had. Now, there is another story. I will tell you this story as well, probably. Strum and Stinkin' Woody, the guitar Woody, if you know, from Toy Story 2, by Mattel as well. Both of these by Mattel, just to let you know. Uh, During that time, they also had a Woody with a guitar, which was Strum and Stinkin' Woody from 1999, I believe, Toy Story 2. Um, like I said, these are from Toy Story and Beyond, I believe. Believe, not 100%, but if I'm sure, I'm pretty sure. Because that's what it said on this one, Toy Story and Beyond. But during these two, um, I had a memory that I always like to talk about this. When I was a kid, I used to always go to the store. I think Storm and Sting when he was really like $20 or something like that back then, but we couldn't afford that because it was expensive back then. Yeah, and he um, was about like I just remember always going there, and my parents said we couldn't get him, so it was sad. Uh, Also, here's a little fun fact about these two. Now, I will tell you the exact price I paid for both of these toys here. Well, actually, my parents did. Uh, but when I first got these, my mom said that she had went to the garage sale, talked to the lady, and there was a box that said 25 cents in it. And in those box was this Woody and Buzz. And they were exactly 25 cents. So 50 cents. Was this worth it? Yes. I think this was probably the best find that my family has ever found for me, especially 50 cents. Who's going to say no to a Buzz Lightyear and Woody for 25 cents each? That's 50 cents best find in the year. I was very shocked to find it that low. Uh, you can't even find something this low. Like, I think he's worth, like, people sell him around $39 to $45 to $50. I'm not sure how much they sell Blast or Flight Control Buzz, but I remember I seen a picture of him in his box, which he looked pretty cool at that time. Uh, and yeah, everything still had worked on him. Like, we had just replaced his light bulb because his light bulb went out on that Buzz. We had that fixed, and it had a string on this originally, but we had it replaced with a rubber band, which I'm not sure that's a good idea to do for like that, because eventually the rubber band will snap. I'm pretty sure after so many years it's gonna snap. But yeah, sadly that's the only thing that's different on that. Everything else is still original to him. Um, he's still a pretty awesome toy, and like I said, I really wish I could get him to work for you guys for the video, but sadly, I tried everything. I don't know if his speaker went out or if he just died, just like literally just completely just stopped working, like Woody did. But I think the reason why he probably stopped working was from too much playtime before we had the chance to get him fixed. To find out if he worked or not, we don't know. Ever since that, I waited from 9 to age 15 to get an actual talking Woody doll, which that Woody is the Woody that is still in here with the other Woodies and Buzzes. That Woody was, I believe, called Playtime Woody. And there was actually a Woody back during this time, I think it was in 98 or something, and it's called something like Rumble, I don't remember exactly the Woody, but he had like a little hole like here in his hat, under his hat, and his head, and you could just like do stuff with him, and he had like tons of phrases, and people say that was the Woody that based off of Playtime Woody. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, big shout out for to skullwarrior. Big shout out to him. Thank you for this time. Like I said, I've been rumbling on, but this is the story of these two toys that I've had since I was 9. That's mostly all the memory I can remember of these two. Pretty much, it's a pretty nice story. It was probably the greatest moment of my life to find these two. And like I said, I'm really happy to still have them. I would love to have an actual working pair of these guys. Again, one of these days, like maybe I'll be lucky and find another pair just like these, but better condition that actually still works. And like I said, the memories of these will stay online. I do have a video. Like I said, I'll leave it in the description to Flight Control Buzz. And like I said, you can also check out my other reviews. Like I did a review on this Woody, which is Twice the Talking Sheriff Woody, based similar models. They're both the exact same models, but like mostly the star right here looked like that one. I just remember the star looked like this, and like I said, you can check out the video on the comparison I did, I believe, on both of these. And like I said, if I ever do, it's a big if I ever do find an actual working one of Talking to Woody, I will do a comparison and a review on both of them of that Woody when I find one. I will try to do a new review on it, and I will, when I get that review, I will try to do a comparison of Twice the Talking Woody and Talking to Woody. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever, comment if you, I would like to know, what was your two favorite Toy Story toys, growing up? What was your first two? Like I said, mine was these two, and like I said, ever since that, my collection has grown for these guys, and like I said, sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not, and like I said, in the words of these two, or Flight Control Buzz, off we go into the wild blue yonder. And like I said, Spike Treasure Fan here. This has been a story time with my Woody and Buzz. And like I said, see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.